Hello everyone, it is me again, Penguin21, and today we are going to be looking at this thing. Now, you might have read the title and been like, what's going on with Unity? What's going on? If you haven't heard of the news, this is probably just some breaking stuff here. There's been a lot of public discourse and public outcry because of the fact that Unity is going to now charge game devs for installs. And that's terrible. Not only is it terrible, it's the most awful thing you could probably do in the entirety of this entire game. And everything, literally, every aspect, however you spin it, bad, very bad. Now, why is this? Why is it that this is a bad business move? Well, for one, it's going to kill your game engine. For one, yes, I understand that you have to make money. I understand that you're a big business. But at the end of the day, it's not worth it. You're going to lose a lot of people using this maneuver. Very few actual individuals out there would be willing to pay this money. Why? For the sheer, unadulterated fact, right, that most of the people who are using your game engine Unity are not even able to pay with the money that they generate from their own game. The hell do you think that they're going to do and pay you for? I understand if it was, say, a one-time fee. That would be fine. Maybe a little hurting in the short term, but in the long term, if it gets you to make money, it gets you to make money. But you want to charge the devs every single time that a person installs this game that they are using, and that you don't even account for things such as piracy or things such as people installing and reinstalling the game, and it only counts for initial installs. Now, I did see a little bit of a article in place here that I'm unsure as to what's been happening, and it might even just be some sort of propaganda piece or something put out there. But Unity did a very, very bad thing for a number of reasons. And I'll get into this in a little bit. But let's get into this specific article that I found, titling, Unity rushes to clarify price increase plan as game developers fume. Now, game developers are not just fuming, they are burning bridges. Because if you are going to entice an install base for, say, even remotely anything having to do with the player interaction, the end user, and hold the devs accountable for that, you are wrong, sir. You never hold your customers, your employees accountable for what your customers freaking do. You don't do that. That's stupid. That's inauguratingly dumb on the nth degree. You want to know how I know this? It's killed multiple companies, and you can take that to your fucking grave. But we move on. Unity, the tech company behind the most popular game engines for creating video games, is scrambling to clarify how the price increase for its services will work after its announcement Tuesday morning, broadly inferring that the game development community. Why it matters, and this is important. The fees which Unity said are essential for funding development of its tech left many game makers wondering if having hit game through Unity could cost them more money than they could make. Developers spoke throughout the day, delaying their games to switch to the rival Epic Unreal Engine, because that's what you're going to fricking do with your customers, especially when it's in a business-to-business transaction. And other services such as X on the platform formerly known as Twitter. But by the evening, Unity exec Mark Ritten has updated an auctions on the policy, potentially diffusing some concerns by raising game by game creators. No, I don't think that he's done that at all. Because at the end of the day, this is still information that has been circling around. This is probably the most up-to-date information that we'll get from this whole controversy. But at the end of the day, whatever way you try to spin this shit, it is terrible for everyone involved. Literally everyone. You can say that, oh, we're just trying to increase it for the prices of inflation. Fuck you. No, seriously. Fuck you. This is the same person, and Big Fry brought this up before, but this is the same person who wanted to charge you for reloading in Battlefield. Charge you $1 per reload in Battlefield. Are you kidding me? No, you don't charge someone a fee like this. This is the dystopian Sixers wet dream. If you've ever heard of Ready Player One, you should know what the Sixers are. This man is a real-life Sixer at this point. He's the fucking dumbass who thinks that it's easy enough to try to almost give people epileptic seizures with the amount of ads that they can push into your goddamn face. Pisses me the fuck off to no end. With the details of the new runtime fee, announced Tuesday morning, is tied to players' installations of a game, an action that previously didn't cost developers fucking anything, and it shouldn't. With Unity's new plan, developers who use the Unity's free tier of development services would owe 20 cents per installation once their game hits a threshold of $200,000 and earns $200,000 in revenue. Okay. No. Bad. Developers paying over $2,000 a year for Unity would have to hit higher thresholds and would be charged lower fees. The new fee system will begin at the start of 2024. Look, just doing simple math here. The minimum that you are paying for just Unity alone, 20 cents per installation, is around $40,000. $40,000 before things such as taxes, before things such as the price cut for Steam, before things such as even paying the utilities and other things like that. And that's kind of separate and depends on where you sit. Most of these indie developers that use this free tier are indie devs who can only work on such a small budget. This is bullshit to the highest degree. And I don't care what the fuck Unity says at this point. It's not okay to charge your devs, especially for something that they can't even fucking control half the time. They can't control it. They really fucking can't. And this is a monthly transactional fee. A fee that will continue to upscale every time that this sort of thing happens. If it was a one and done fee, where you hit this threshold within the first 12 months of your game, I'm fairly certain that that would be a lot more better than this. But why did they say it? It's because a revenue sharing option is not sufficient and is better for developers in that context. No, it's not. I can tell you from personal experience that that's not fucking what happens. You want to know how? Look at Steam. Look at fucking Epic Games. That's a war on two fronts that you're fighting there. Not only is it free, but they also can revenue share in the same way, and they still make money. And yeah, some people might look at you, they would be like, oh, well, what about the Fortnite money? Fuck Fortnite money. They were doing this before that. They were the ones who made the Unreal Engine and who made this whole thing. They offer less to their to put their game up, and they offer a less revenue share, but they still make money. Not a lot of money, but they still make money because it's not their only venture. But if you look at Steam, if you look at, say, any of the other engines out there, they don't utilize that shit. Like, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but RPG Maker, you can buy RPG Maker. You can buy Game Pros Max or Game Genie Max or something like that. There's another couple of things. There's a lot of engines out there. You're not the one out there anymore. You may be dominant, but if you pull this move, it's fucking dumb. Moving on here. Yes, but game devs relying on X began fuming immediately at any game enjoying a spike in installations due to a big sale, inclusion in charity bundle, or even just being included in a popular subscription services like Microsoft Game Pass would trigger back-breaking Unity freeze. It would. Stop it, developers, said Studio Innersloth, makers of Among Us. Oh, really? Oh, that's what their name is. Used to Tuesday evening. This would harm not only us, but fellow game studios of budgets of all sizes. Absolutely. Another studio, Agrigo Cab. Agrigo Argo? Ergo? I don't know how to pronounce that. Crab. Called Unity to reverse its plans, saying it feared that its next game, set for release to the 25 million subscribers on Game Pass, could incur fees that threaten the stability of their business. With the intrigue, Unity scrambles to clarify, and in one key case, alter what it has said about its policies under the fees. Okay. Zooming on in, after initially telling Axios earlier Tuesday that player installing a game, deleting it, and installing it again would result in multiple fees, Unity's written told Axios that the company would actually only charge for the initial certain installation. So a new installation is what they initially clarified for that, for a spokesperson of Axios, that Unity had regrouped, quote unquote, to discuss the issue. He hoped this would allay fears of install bombing, which is kind of like review bombing, but install basis, where angry users would keep deleting and reinstalling a game to rack up fees to punish a developer, which is something that they did not account for and is honestly fucking stupid, because not only does it incur in that context of install bombing, but people who can't have bigger storage on the computers anyway. To kind of discuss over this as well, yeah, install bombing could become a thing if this charging fee were to happen. But at the same time, I would be reluctant to install and uninstall Unity games because I don't want to hurt the devs in the long term. But the extra fee will not be charged for the users an extra fee will be charged if a user installs a game on a second device, say on Steam Deck, after installing the game on PC. Which, okay, that makes some sense, but what if someone gets a new PC? That still charges the install fee, and they still want to play those games. That's still bad. It doesn't fix it's putting a Band-Aid over over like a wound where your arm is cut off, or your hand gets cut off, or your something gets like, there's massive internal bleeding. It's putting a Band-Aid on a problem that's not the problem. But moving on. Between the lines, runtime fees will also not be charged for installations of game demos, written and said, unless the demo is part of a download that includes the full game. Early access games would be charged for an installation, he noted. Games offered for charity or included in charities will be exempt from fees. Unity will provide a way for developers to inform Unity that their games are being offered that way, Wrighton said. As for Game Pass, another subscription service, Wrighton said that developers like Argo Crab could not be on the hook as the fees are charged to distributors, which in the Game Pass example would be Microsoft. Okay. Runtime fees will also not be charged for installation of game demos, Wrighton said, unless the demo is part of it. So that's just kind of a repeat of the thing before. So, look, that's okay, understandable for game demos to be exempt from this rule. But at the same time, why are you charging the devs and even just the distributors of these games for the installing of the user base? Like, that makes no sense at all. You do not conduct business this way. If you run a game engine, find other alternative ways to make fucking money. Especially considering that you have your own asset store. Why not just, I don't know, make a listing price to list your assets? That you have to pay a specific flat fee for your asset store in order to be listed on the actual thing. And I'm fairly certain that they might do that, they might not do that, but I would say do that more than anything. Not only would it stop like things like asset flips in some cases and capacities, but if someone wants to just list off assets, they could eventually make money for it. I mean, again, it would probably depend on like the size of the asset or something like that, but oddly enough, that sounds like a much better thing to do. But I guess they just don't want to do that. there is a note here, written estimates that only about 10% of Unity's developers would wind up having to pay any fees given the thresholds games need to hit. But even if that percentage is true, and I fucking doubt that. I doubt that to the nth degree because of several different types of games, okay? Even if that were true, there is some caveats that I do want to put down here. I get that you have to make money, but for, let's say, the biggest example here would be Battlefield. That's the biggest, most recent example. They would have to pay a lot of fucking money to Unity in order to keep those runtime fees active. My biggest question is, what are the repercussions for not doing this runtime fee? Do you just not get an update to Unity? Do you just not get some of the extra features that you are entitled to? Do you not get that Unity support group or anything like that? Do you get your license taken away? Like they've talked a lot about this, but I'm more questioning of like, how are they going to enforce this? How are they going to get the repercussions for those actions? I think that that's more of an interesting example. Because listen, if you just lose some like certain Unity support outlets, I think most people would just never pay you in that context, and you would lose even more money because you have no one to pay the people to be the support group. Why don't you, I don't know, make some of the more subscription models more expensive? Just by a little bit. Say, for example, if someone wants to use the 2000 version, just raise the price to about $2,500. That's not that much. It might price some people out, but it will be. But if someone's already paying for that and are using that, that seems like an understandable increase. And the same for some of the other increases if you have those sort of subscription programs. Just raise the prices there. Like that's what Netflix does. Then you can price certain people out, but at the same time, if certain people rely on it, paying more would have to allocate specific funds. Like there are tens of thousands of other ways that this could be handled a little bit better. It might still suck in the short term, but over the long term, it doesn't hurt your fucking brand like this will. And closing out the article, he says what they're saying, and this is a quote from them. Our core value with this is simply to make it sure that we have the right value exchange so that we can continue to invest our fundamental mission to make sure that we can deliver the best tools for people to make great games. I'm going to allow that to sink in really quickly. And just so you understand how hypocritical that shit is. This makes me fucking pissed. I don't get pissed a lot on this channel, at least not for the same sake of how I am this angry. But this is unacceptable. And I deal with a lot of shit on this channel. I'm fairly certain a lot of you know the people that I deal with, especially on Twitter. People who don't know the fucking how to do math. People who don't know how to do this. People who don't know basic fundamental geology of the world. Like, it sucks. People are stupid. I'm stupid. Alright? Everyone is fucking dumb. But at the end of the day, this is terrible for anyone involved. Because it incurs and requires you to have bad faith business practices all damn day. Regardless of what your intentions are, this is bad. Reverse it yesterday. It's not fun to get a bunch of angry feedback on any particular day. And I think that is us needing to clarify some of these points. But we're listening, and we will continue to make sure that we deliver the best that we can. If you're listening, Unity, listen to this. Everyone is saying, don't fuck us. Don't fuck over your entire install base and your entire business base to try to get more money. You assholes. This is a dick move. Don't do it. Plain as day. I get that you're a business. I get that that you have to make money in one way, space, and capacity. But don't fuck over hardworking developers who work with your engine because they are businesses, you shithead. It is not, and I repeat, not good to hold your fucking developers/employees responsible for anything having to do with your install base or your customers. That is bullshit on every conceivable fucking level. And I hope that you realize that. You shit for brains, ass-hatting CEO who worked at EA. It is not good. I hope that was clear enough to anyone listening. I know that this is probably never going to reach Unity and stuff, and to be very, very clear, this does make me pissed for a number of reasons. One, because I've actually worked in Unity, and I work with graphic design in Unity and stuff like that. I've worked with this engine. It's not a terrible engine. It's got some quirks, it's got some problems, but I know it, I learned it. But at the end of the day, one of, if not the biggest reasons as to why this right here is bullshit is because Unity is trying to hold accountable developers who have done nothing wrong, who are paying out the nose to use Unity. Well, maybe not paying out the nose, but who are paying to use Unity's services in order to incentivize more monetary gain just for Unity. And I get that people need to be paid, but there are more ways to do this. There are. What I think would be a very good way is for certain higher tiers, you have a one-time flat fee that you offer to certain tiers of people. Maybe to even some of the lower tiers, where you can buy certain ones. Maybe not to the personal ones, that would be absolutely bullshit. But to say maybe you would charge a little bit to the essentials one, a one-time flat fee of say $120 something. And then for some of the more recurring fees, you could add some more money there if you really need to make money. Millions of people play your games. Hell, not even just BattleBit. Escape from Tarkov runs on Unity. Are you fucking me in the ass right now? Are you shitting on my fucking cereal right now? That is absolute garbage. And quite honestly, those devs, they do suck a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're perfect. At least Battlestate Games is not perfect. I'm not going to say that they suck. They're good at what they do. But you're going to screw over the 3 people who work on BattleBit, the people who are working in an active war zone for Battlestate Games, the people who are working out of their mom's basement or their garage because they want to make it big in this gaming industry. You're going to fuck over all of those people? No. You're fucking not. Don't do this. Anyway. I know that this is probably one of the more, not as funny videos, and this is one of the more serious videos that I've made. But to be very honest, this one literally pissed me off, and I had a lot more to say about it than I thought that I originally did. You saw in this article and stuff like that. But let me be clear here. I'm sorry to anyone who has made it this far into the video, and have heard me ranting. If you enjoy what it is that I do, I'm sorry for yelling and screaming, but like, this is a serious moment, and I just wanted to talk about it. Like a genuine serious moment. In any case, I think that I have held your attention for long enough. My name is GamePenguin21. Unity. No. If you like what it is that I do, links to everything down in the description below. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And a peace off.